of the team.
Alright guys, UFC Fight Night 163 is now in the books, and in the main event we saw Zabit Magomedsharipov getting a decisive victory over Calvin Kattar. Now, story of this fight, Calvin Kattar just could not get past the range of Zabit. Zabit being very elusive, doing what he always does well, using the kicks to keep Calvin at range, attacking the leg, which is a known weakness of Calvin, also going to the body, which Calvin always seems to leave open as high as he keeps his hands. Even in the boxing exchanges, Zabit seemed to be winning, seemed to be getting the better shots and the better combinations. Calvin Kattar doing what he could to try to cut off the movement of Zabit, but Zabit just too fast and too elusive, overall too quick to get out of the pocket. In the third round, it appeared that Calvin Kattar had a chance to turn things around. Zabit started to slow down. It appeared that his gas tank was starting to deplete. Calvin Kattar starting to land the shots, land the combinations. But toward the end of the round, goes in for an ill-advised flying knee. Zabit grabs a hold of him, takes him down, and rides it on the ground to the end of the round. An excellent performance by Zabit, showcasing his skills and further moving up the top of the ranks of the featherweight division. Now, as far as what goes next for Zabit, there's a lot of things to consider with what's going on in the featherweight division. In December, we have Max Holloway defending his title against Alexander Volkanovski, and right after that, we have an epic matchup with the Korean Zombie versus Brian Ortega. Now, considering that fight, I honestly think if Korean Zombie can get the victory over Brian Ortega and make it impressive, get the audience over in South Korea roaring, I really think that the UFC is going to give Korean Zombie that next title shot. If Brian Ortega wins that fight, there's a lot of things to be considered. We all know Brian Ortega recently challenged for the title and lost in one-sided fashion against Max Holloway. So it's hard to imagine the fans or the UFC really clamoring to see that fight happen again. But if Alexander Volkanovski is able to defeat Max Holloway, then I can definitely see the UFC giving Brian Ortega that title shot. Now, while all this is going on at the top of the featherweight division, we recently saw Yair Rodriguez put on a brilliant performance against Jeremy Stephens, further solidifying himself as a top contender. Even more impressive, in my opinion, than the one Zabit put on himself against Jeremy Stephens. And I know there are a lot of fans out there, just as much as myself, who would love to see Zabit and Yair go at it. Now, looking at that fight, it's a very interesting matchup for Zabit, and one that can give him a lot of trouble, because I feel like Yair Rodriguez does everything that Zabit does, but he does it much faster. He himself is very elusive, has great spinning attacks, very unpredictable, and he's also powerful. I would say that Zabit has the better boxing, but we've seen Yair also able to dart in and out of the pocket and keep himself out of trouble. However, the one big thing that Zabit has going for him in that fight is his wrestling. We've seen in the past that Yair does have a weakness against wrestlers. Frankie Edgar really exposed Yair's lack of a wrestling game. He was able to control him, land some vicious ground and pound, and finish him within 2 rounds. Zabit has very good takedowns, and they're very unpredictable. So if he can catch Yair coming in, he can tie him up in the clinch, put him on the mat, and just put on a wrestling clinic against Yair. However, for the next one, I do want to see Zabit in a 5-round fight. Again, he appeared to slow down at the end of this fight, as he did in his fight with Jeremy Stephens. This could be signs of a cardio issue for Zabit. You know, Zabit is a huge featherweight, and I can only assume that he cuts a lot of weight to get down to 145, and that could be affecting his stamina in there. Now, I know a lot of people will probably point to Yair appearing to slow down in his fight with Jeremy Stephens. However, I would say that a lot of that was due to him trying to finish Jeremy Stephens in that second round, where he was on top of Stephens on the mat, throwing some heavy leather and putting out some high volume in that round. Going into the third, I can only assume that second round took a lot of that stamina out of him. We previously had seen Yair Rodriguez in a 5-round fight against Alex Caceres, and he was in that fight from start to finish. So I do believe that Yair would have a cardio advantage over Zabit. Overall, I think this matchup makes for a very entertaining fight. With Zabit and Yair recently picking up wins and being around the same spot in the rankings, I feel that that's the fight to make while everything plays out at the top of the featherweight division. Regardless of what happens, I really look forward to Zabit's next fight. Again, he put on a brilliant performance in this one, and we all know that he always brings the entertainment. Want to congratulate him on a big win, and again, just really looking forward to seeing what happens next with him. Now again, I want to sincerely thank everybody for tuning in, and I'll see you for the next video.
So yeah, I'm 6-0 in the UFC, and obviously I would like to face the winner of Holloway versus Volkanovski. And I promise if I get that fight, I will be ready for 5 rounds. I wasn't able to prepare fully for this fight because I had staph infections and stuff, but I promise I'll be better next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an excellent performance. Zabit Magomedsharipov.